Is the Super Mario Galaxy movie a super smash? Bro, let me tell you. My name is Fletcher, and last night I got to go and see the sequel to the 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie. Not a sequel to the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie, which still arguably has one of the greatest versions of Mario of all time. There was a huge question mark shaped box sitting over this movie on whether it's going to be able to deliver the same nostalgia hit that we got from the first film back in 2023. And I'm here to tell you that if you were looking for something that is so heavy on story, so story driven, so narratively dense and deep and dark and twisted and everything else in between, then you're probably not going to find it here. But are you going to have fun the entire time that you're in there? Yes, you will. Now, just for anyone that's watching, there's going to be some mild spoilers from this point onwards. So essentially, I will keep the biggest reveals to myself, but I will be talking loosely about everything that's involved in the film itself. So first up, this is a Mario film, first and foremost. Yet, it feels like the Nintendo Cinematic Universe all roll into one. When we look back at the first film, it had Donkey Kong in there, which thematically makes sense because Mario debuted in a Donkey Kong game. The first film was a flurry of nostalgic hits hitting you left, right, and center, and this film is no exception. In fact, this film feels like it has stepped up. A little fun tidbit that they're doing with the film is that they're introducing a brand new entity, which is Rosalina. So she opens the movie and she has all of her little children and has this little cinematic set piece at the start of the film, which was kind of setting the tone of what you're going to be experiencing for the rest of it as well, considering they already had Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad. I did wonder how that they would go in this film, considering that the first film is bringing over standing characters from Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach, and Bowser, who were all larger-than-life characters in the first film, and they're introducing brand new characters into this in many different capacities. It was nice to see that the characters continued on from where they were in the last film, in terms of where they were character-wise. Mario, in the first film, had a chip on his shoulder, wanted something to prove. And in this film, kind of the same thing. He's a bit more established where he's at. He wants to continue that. He wants to be seen as the hero because he's kind of got that taste for it. But he's also humble. He's still a good guy. He still wants to include everyone. But he's weary. He's weary about people like Bowser, returning character. One of the most difficult elements of bringing Bowser back was the fact that the big bad in this film was actually Bowser Jr. While Bowser Jr. was actually a very well-designed and really cool-looking character, character-wise, you really can't overshadow Jack Black as Bowser. I guess the film can take a couple narrative hits in that sense, but it was really good to have him bouncing off Bowser himself, but to have him as the new big bad was a bold choice in terms of how do you upstage Bowser himself. It was a really fun little narrative that they had between Bowser and Bowser Jr., and honestly, I'm glad that was in the film. But if Bowser wasn't in the film at all, I don't know whether Bowser Jr. would be able to stand on his own as the big bad of the film, if that makes sense. Overall, each character stayed true to who they were, as well as evolving just a little bit, just like giving us a little bit more personality, a little more depth. They're a little more settled. They kind of know who they are at this stage. And honestly, what more do you want from the Mario film? It was fun. It was introduced in kind of the same pace that the first film was, because I went and rewatched the first film before I watched this one the night before, and it's a runtime's about 98 minutes for both of the films. It doesn't really stop. It doesn't really let up, and there's a lot of moments in this film where I felt like maybe they could have taken a breath. Maybe they could have said, hang on, let's soak this moment in a little bit, but there's a couple times where a specific character will turn up, and I'd say it take about 30 seconds, and they're like, cool, let's go. Not necessarily that's a negative, because it really depends on what you want when you go into a film like this. I wanted to go into this film and be wowed, be entertained, see all of my childhood nostalgia get thrown on the screen in creative fashion. The music alone, oh my god, the music alone, they intertwined the game soundtrack with something that's more illustrious that you would see in most films themselves to, create the illusion that the scene is larger than life, that you wanted to go through. You're hearing explosions, you're hearing the emotion come through the music, the storytelling in the music itself carried a lot in this film, and that's what I genuinely love about films like this that want to give you an experience, and that's what you're going for. That's what you're going to get, which is actually a good thing to mention as well, because I don't know if anyone's played Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but the cinematic, when you go through the campaign in that, this film felt like I was experiencing that. It felt like I got to go in there and see this grand adventure unfold. In my opinion, I didn't really go into this for a story because I don't know about you, other than the Paper Mario games, I don't think there has ever been a Mario game where I've said, I specifically need to go and see this because I need to see how deep and complex each character can be in this story. I don't particularly like talking about score when it comes to like these movies because I wanted to make this channel so that I can make reviews that are fun. I want to talk about how I feel going into these things. Like, I genuinely love video games. I grew up with them. I didn't grow up playing Mario as extensively as what everyone else might have that has gone to see these films. I still played Mario. I don't know whether I did any speed running or I don't know whether I completed every single Mario that I ever played when I think about it. I'm pretty sure there's like probably over 100 different like Mario games themselves and stuff like that. But incorporating elements of every single game that I'm familiar with. It was a very, very clever way to implement a Mario Maker style chaos into the film that when you see it, you'll be like, ah, yeah, clever. I think an important question that a lot of people might ask is, who is this movie specifically for? And I think they've done a good enough job to be able to incorporate fans that grew up with this, fans that are just new to this, and people that quite frankly have zero idea what Mario is about. They could all three get together in one cinema and still enjoy the visual spectacular that is the Super Mario Galaxy film. For those that haven't seen the film, make sure that you stay for the mid and post-credit scene. Both of them could have huge ramifications for the Nintendo universe, and I'm really, really excited to see where they can take this from here. At the end of the day, if I had to put a number on this film right now as it stands, I give it a 7. I'm happy to bump that to an 8 in terms of a film that I wanted to go in there and just have fun with. I really, really enjoyed myself in the cinema. There was a couple laugh out loud moments that I was just genuinely excited to see. It felt like a passion project. There is so many films that feel like cash grabs, and this transcends that cash grab feel and actually just feels like a group of people that were actually invested in the franchise, actually invested in making a spectacular film. Just got to throw all ideas at the wall, and pretty much every single idea that they threw stuck. And I just wanted to applaud them. I want to applaud the fact that they stuck to their guns and they made this film for the fans. They made this film for themselves, and they made this film to be exactly what they wanted it to be. And we need more of that these days. We really do. But that's everything for me anyway. That's my first review ever for my brand new venture, which is Fletcher Reviews. I want to encourage you all to comment down your favorite moments of the film, things that you want from future films, other Nintendo franchises that you want as well. Make sure to follow me on all my different platforms. I'll be making multiple versions of this video. I'm going to have the full versions up on YouTube. I'm going to have the shorter versions up on TikTok, Instagram, and even YouTube Shorts as well. So there's going to be many avenues to go through here. I'm also going to be doing some written reviews that I'll be putting up little slides on there in case I don't want to do a full-blown movie review like I'm doing right now. They can also include games, books, or films, and I'm going to do this holistically so that it doesn't have to be a brand new film, game, or book or anything that I'm going to review. If you want me to review something that I haven't experienced, I'll do it. I'll try my best to go through everything that everyone wants me to experience because I want to have that experience. I want to dive into a more positive review space and bring you my thoughts, why I like them, why I'm happy, and also talk about things that are worth talking about in every single one of these avenues that I would go down. So thank you so much for tuning into my very first review. My name is Fletcher, and I'll be seeing you next time.